Hey everybody, it's Matt Williams coming to you from Brand Federation World Headquarters here in lovely Richmond, Virginia. A couple of weeks ago, we did a cold take that was focused on how a new CEO who comes into a brand should approach the challenge of coming into that brand. And there's been a couple of things in the news that are great examples of CEOs coming in and doing what we think is exactly the right thing when they come into a new brand. One is Brian Niccol, who's the new CEO of Starbucks. Niccol came in and has written an open letter to Starbucks associates and anybody who's associated with the brand. In that letter, he talks about his strategic focus being get back to what makes Starbucks Starbucks. The way he talks about it in the letter shows that this is somebody who really understands what this brand is about and is committed to getting back to the core of the brand. The other CEO switch that's in the news is the new CEO that's coming into Nike. You may have seen that the current CEO, who is the former CEO of Bain & Company and eBay, has been ushered out, and they've brought in a new CEO who is a guy who started at Nike as an intern. This is a guy who understands the core of what Nike is about from the very inside. And he has said a lot of the same things that Niccol has said relative to Starbucks when he comes back into Nike, getting this brand back to the core of what it does. So both of these CEOs, we think, are doing exactly what a new CEO needs to do, which is understand the core of that brand and innovate from there. Two thoughts, if we can kind of be so bold as to suggest something to both these gentlemen as they come into these two big jobs. One is you're doing a great job understanding the core of that brand. You can't stop there. You have to use that core as a jumping off place for innovation. The second piece of advice we would give these gentlemen is think in terms of concentric circles. And what that means is a brand reinvention is literally moving from point A to point B. If you do it in the wrong way, what you're doing is going to your current customer base and saying to them, this brand is not what you thought. We are not this anymore. We're now that. It's a huge mistake because it begins by putting your existing revenue at risk. Instead, you need to think in terms of concentric circles. You need to grow from A, which is the core of your brand, the thing that makes you special, to B, growing around that core in a way that expands on it rather than walks away from it. So how do you do that? The first thing you have to do is create new energy around the core definition of your brand. How do you make people see the thing they love about this brand differently? Then you can use that reinterpretation to strengthen your relationship with your current customers because you've taken the thing they've loved and you've injected new energy into it. And you can expand the appeal of that brand because you've opened the consideration of your brand to people who, for whatever reason, haven't thought about you. You've brought new energy and a new way to think about this brand. It's going to motivate not just your current customers and prospective customers, it's going to motivate the people inside your company and remind them what you're about and remind them why they love this place that they work. So all that to say, we see the Brian Niccol move and the move at Nike as being great examples of CEOs coming into companies and thinking about it what we think is the right strategic way. Get to the core, understand it, take the time to ask the questions, to understand that core, and then use it as a jumping off place for innovation. Thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Williams at Brand Federation. We'll be back with another cold take soon, and we hope to see you then.